AI agent traces can tell us what happened, but not whether a consequential action was actually authorized by the user's intent. CausalGate closes that gap. It is an intent assurance and intent-based access control layer for tool-using agents. It links actions to a declared contract, finds the earliest causal point where behavior diverged, and tests whether a proposed control is safe to promote. The deterministic demo needs no account, external service, real secret, or model API key. The seeded scenario begins with an authorized task, research Hackney, using public information, and produce a sourced summary. We run the vulnerable observe-only baseline. The same interface records 13 immutable events and opens 8 evidence-linked risks. CausalGate converts the user's task into a versioned intent contract, then evaluates every mapped tool proposal through one deterministic path. Authority is the intersection of identity, agent configuration, assigned intent grant, organization policy, and runtime context, not a model opinion. Here is the investigation view. A retrieved document contains an indirect prompt injection. The timeline shows the untrusted content influencing the plan, followed by a protected resource proposal and an external message proposal. The risk queue identifies protected data egress, an unsafe lead to send chain, missing approval, privilege escalation, old drift, untrusted authorization state mutation, and an unsupported completion claim. Selecting any finding isolates its linked events, redacted payload, explanation, and recommended control, so an engineer does not have to correlate raw logs manually. Authorization remains deterministic, even when the baseline preserves the unsafe counterfactual. Public retrieval is allowed. Reading the protected synthetic canary and sending protected data externally are denied by the intent grant. A protected operation, and a WAV request receives a short with permit bound to be exact request and grant digests, and the mediated executor consumes it once immediately before the tool call. Approvals can add restrictions, but they can never create authority missing from the signed grant. Now we replay the identical content addressed fixture with enforcement enabled. The protected read and outbound message are blocked. 8 baseline findings fall to 0. Fixture parity is an exact match. Egress is prevented. All divergent clauses are restored, and no regression is detected. The fixture gate returns promote because this candidate restored the detected divergence on the same scenario. That verdict is deliberately scoped to this weekly. A production release still requires the authenticated multi-fixture assurance suite. GPT-5.6 Soul has 2 bounded roles. First, it can compile natural language into a least privilege candidate contract. Second, it can investigate semantic intent drift in a minimized redacted trace while citing only event identifiers from that execution. Its structured output is validated before display. The model cannot issue a grant, approve a tool, execute an action, suppress deterministic findings, change policy, or promote a release. The core capture, authorization, replay, and evidence path remains fully keyless. Word. Codex pronounce. Codex was our engineering collaborator across the complete vertical slice. It reviewed the product requirements and architecture, implemented and refined the typed Icon SDK, fast API service, authorization engine, redaction boundary, reclay and assured states, reactive investigation interface, framework adapters, and regression tests. It also drove browser QA, traced corrupted authorization evidence to redacted persistent events, fixed SQL-like connection leaks, and verified their hair. Developers can adopt CausalGate locally with decorators and redacted JSON lines, or export evidence from the authenticated API to a future Teen software as a service control plane. CausalGate is more than show what agent did. It records which intent authorized each action, endpoints where behavior diverged, enforces what may happen next, and requires replay evidence before a repair ships. From 8 detected risks to 0 on the identical fixture. Trace what happened, prove where intent diverged, then gate the fix with evidence.